Hey, what's up, y'all? Hey, so I just want to say today that it's a sad day in stand-up comedy. A sad day. You know, you had a whole incident with Chris Rock and Will Smith, and now you have the issues with Monique and D.L. Hughley. It's a sad day in comedy. And the one from yesterday, this new beef, is hurtful personally, because you're talking about somebody that I started out with versus somebody that that mentored me, that I'm mentored by. One of my mentors is somebody I started out with, slept in a house, you know. And I think for me is, man, I'm just trying to get my money and go home. Even if the itinerary said, Ricky, you're going last, if there's an issue, then, you know, whatever it takes to resolve the issue, whatever makes you feel comfortable, that's what it'll be. I'll tell you a personal story. Sometimes, man, we get backstage. I've been backstage and there was a mix-up on the order or whatever with Bruce, and there was no beef. I just walked in the dress and said, Bruce, what you want to do? He said, man, I'm gonna go ahead and go up first, because I don't want to be here all night, get mine out the way. I said, fine. And that's the end of it. And to this day, we like this. Even though the itinerary say this the way it is, or whatever, if any comedian feel like, I don't like the order, well, what would it take? What would it take to make you comfortable? Well, I just need to go ahead and I just want to go first, or I want to go second, or I want to go third, or I want to go last. Okay, that's fine. Well, you go last, and what I'll do, I'll host, because the check is the same. The check ain't changing. Sometimes, you know, I done sucked it up and said, hey man, I'll just host the show. Now that's a harder job for me, because I got to go up first, then go up second. Then bring on the first act, then go back up, bring on the next act, then go back up, bring on the third act, and then go back up to close the show, right? So that's more time on stage. But sometimes you have to make that sacrifice in order to make sure all the comedians are comfortable, all the comedians are happy, and make sure, more importantly, make sure the audience have a good time, because the audience ain't gonna have a good time if any of the comedians are unhappy and they're not comfortable. The comedians are not comfortable, they're not gonna give their best performance. I don't have shit to prove. I've been doing comedy 32 years. I don't have anything else to prove. I don't have to go last. And I don't give a shit if I go second, and I don't care if I go first. I don't care if I go on stage and people still walking in getting their seats. Because guess what? For the people that didn't get to see me perform, guess what? That means I can come back in 4 months and close the show at a local comedy club, or come back in 6 months and shut that shit down and sell it out and do it the way I would like to do it, if I felt like I didn't get my rocks off in whatever city it is, right? Sometimes, man, it just comes down to common sense, common courtesy. What do I have to do or sacrifice to keep down confusion and beef? You got shootings going on. We don't want to give the art of stand-up comedy a bad, damn, she fine, a bad name. Oh, she got a daughter with me. Okay, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? You just wanna do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? You want to do the right thing, and to make sure that the audience have the best experience that they can have. Now, let me say this other thing. I'm trying to back in and talk to y'all at the same time. You know, black people have to be quiet for a minute when we backing in. Turn the radio down and sit your ass down in that back seat and be still. Don't you see me finna bag up? All right, here's the other thing. I forgot what the other thing was. I forgot what I was finna say. See, bagging in to a car space even take away your train of thought, because you have to focus. Because you don't want to get too close to either car. Okay. You just want to make sure that the audience have a good time. And sometimes you have to take the bullet and say, okay, let me make sure this is all good. Okay, you want to go last? Okay, go ahead. I don't care. Now, let me say this. There have been times when I've done comedy shows with certain people that have a huge ass freaking ego and just kind of mean spirited. Like me and Bruce, or me and D. Ray Davis, or me and Michael Blackson, we sit down and say, okay, all right, okay, cool, fine, we work it out, right? Every now and then you get an asshole, and it's probably once every few years. So now I'm going last. I just did a such and such show, and I got a TV. So, all right. And he just been a jerk all night, complaining, making the whole situation hard. And then what I do, I just go up in front of him and I just tear that shit up. I'm talking about I give him that damn work. You sure you want to follow me? Cause if I ain't shit else, if I ain't nothing else, I'm funny and I'm a hellified performer. I can perform. I come from theater. I have music mixed in my show. I'm funny as hell. I'm silly. I'm bringing a whole kind of vibe. Cause I can, you know, but I'm always trying to be respectful or whatever, you know. So I hate that it happened, and it's unfortunate. And, you know, DL, and sometimes this stuff is just too personal and too nasty. Me personally, I don't think that, I ever would have said, or mentioned, DL's, wife's name. Because the thing about it is, if you're gonna crack jokes, that's fine. But man, if it's more hurtful and offensive than it is funny, should you say that? Because if I'm gonna talk about somebody, if I'm gonna talk about Bruce, if I'm gonna talk about D. Ray Davis has a daughter. Bruce got kids. If me and Bruce beef, and I'm just using Bruce for example, because Bruce, Earthquake, two of my best friends. You know what I'm saying? I have a relationship with Bruce's son. That's my nephew. Earthquake daughter is my niece. I held her when she was a baby. She works in the industry. I don't give a fuck how mad Earthquake make me. I'm not finna go on stage or jump on this radio and say nothing about Earthquake, no matter what. I call him or text him and cuss his ass out, because we have cussed each other out before, me and Earthquake. We brothers. That's what we do. We done got into it about a light on, about being locked out, or a car key, because we done stayed in the same apartment together. We were roommates. You know, some of this stuff is just getting too personal, and it's hurtful to all of us, and it make me feel bad. I couldn't sleep last night, and it didn't even have anything to do with me, because you're talking about an older brother and a sister where we came in the industry together. And it's hurtful, and it just has really disturbed my peace. I was disturbed when the whole Chris Rock thing, because I met Chris Rock a few times and he was nothing but kind to me, and so was Will. And it's like, damn, you know, it's like two people that you like have it out, and it just make your nerves bad. Black Baptist Church says, our pastor's been saying for years, do all things, not some things, do all things decent and in order. Here's another thing that we grew up learning. Govern yourselves accordingly. According to what? According to what the order is. And if the order says, Rickey Smiley go first, D. Ray Davis go second, that's what the order is. And you have to respect the order. Because if it come down to it, okay, if can't nobody agree, what's on the paper? What's the order? Because you have a contract. The contract say headliner because we are headliners. Headliner, but are you headline? You can co-headline. Sometimes that it gets technical. That's a gray area. D. Ray Davis is a headliner. Martin Lawrence is a headliner. Bruce is a headliner. I'm a headliner. Right? Adele Givens is a headliner. We all headliners. But somebody got to go first. And somebody got to go second. Somebody got to go third. Somebody got to go fourth. And somebody got to host. And we're all headliners. And what we all doing, co-headlining is a verb. Because that's what we're doing. We're co-headlining. But we are headliners. But the verb comes in because we're co-headlining. That's an action. Right? And then it comes down to the promoter that puts the itinerary on the wall, or give it to you as is usually in your dressing room on your mirror. What's the order of the show and what's the time? If can't nobody agree on nothing, what does this say? What does that say? This is Rickey Smiley, you're going first. Then Adele Givens. Then Bruce. Then D. Ray Davis. Hey, I don't want to go first. Do anybody want to switch the order? No, Rickey Smiley, we don't want to switch the order. Well, my ass going first. And let me get this money and go home. And go give them the best first that they ever seen. It's that simple. Pray for everybody involved. And just pray that we can learn and find better ways to resolve issues. And not be so confrontational, personal, and nasty. Because there's no place in comedy for it. Y'all have a blessed day. Peace.